For indoor or low light scenes, you may want to set the appropriate scene mode. For more control over camera functions, you might want to set the program mode instead. In which case, you might need to set the flash, you'll need to set an appropriate ISO, an appropriate white balance, and you might want to experiment with the flash sync for special effect. Let's get started by setting the appropriate scene mode. Turn your mode dial to SCN. In the back, use your navigation buttons to move the highlighted field until you get to Party. Party is probably the best scene profile for indoor situations. Go ahead and press Set. With the Party scene profile selected, the camera is now optimized for taking pictures of people in indoor or low light situations. By default, this profile sets the focus to face detect because it assumes you're taking a picture of a person. I recommend changing this to the single area focus whether you are or are not taking a picture of a person. Press the quick menu button right down here. Then use the right or left navigation button to choose the focusing option. Now go down to the single area focusing option, then press Set. Now I have my focusing brackets in the center of the frame, and I can place these brackets on my subject whether it's a person or not. I'll press the shutter button halfway to lock focus and exposure, then recompose the image the way I want it, and press the shutter button the rest of the way to take the shot. For more control over functions such as ISO and white balance, I recommend using the program mode instead. Turn your mode dial to the letter P. Like the auto mode, the program mode sets the exposure automatically for you. However, it gives you control over functions such as white balance and ISO. Now you should set the flash just as you did with the scene mode. If you're taking a picture of a person and you don't care so much about the background, go ahead and set this to Forced Flash On. Press the Flash button or the right navigation button right here, and go down to Forced Flash On. If, however, you're taking a picture of a large group of people, for example at a table, then you want to force the flash off. Go ahead and press Set. The reason you want to force the flash off with a group shot is because the flash will brighten the people in the foreground, while the people in the background will become very dark. So for group shots, force the flash off. But if it's a picture of a person or two, force the flash on instead. Now with the flash properly set, you want to set the ISO. If you're using the flash, the only thing the ISO will noticeably do is make the background brighter or darker. Press the quick menu button right here to access the quick menu. Press the right or left navigation button to access the ISO option. Then go down to set the ISO. For a brighter background, if you want to see the atmosphere, choose a higher ISO setting. If you don't care so much about the atmosphere and you just want the person to come out, then choose ISO 80 for the cleanest image possible. Move over to the white balance option and choose the appropriate white balance. If you're using the flash to illuminate the subject, go down and set the white balance to daylight. This is the closest color temperature to the flash light. If you're just using the ambient light, you may want to set this to incandescent. For this demonstration, because I am using the flash, I'll go ahead and set my white balance to daylight. Go ahead and press Set to escape the quick menu. Now with my flash forced on, my white balance properly set for flash photography, and my ISO set to 80 because I don't care so much about the background, I can go ahead and take my picture. It's best to try and fill the frame with your subject, so zoom in if you have to. Place the focusing brackets over the subject, press the shutter button halfway to lock focus and exposure, then recompose the image, and press the shutter button the rest of the way to take the shot. If you're in a very, very low light situation, such as a bar or a club scene, you may want to set the flash to slow sync. Press the flash button right here, and go down to the slow sync setting. Then press Set. With the slow sync flash setting activated, the flash will fire, but the camera will expose for the ambient light. Again, this is best for very low light situations when the subject is almost completely black. Place the focusing brackets over the subject just as before. Press the shutter button halfway to try and lock focus. recompose the image, and press the shutter button the rest of the way to take the shot.